he goes, "Holy shit, did you see Will Smith smacked Chris Rock?" And when I first saw it, I'm like, "Oh, was this fake?" But then when Will sits down and he's like, "Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth," I'm like, "Oh, well, they're not going to script cuss words because they can't play it no matter what. This is real. Oh, damn, this is real." And then you watch it, and you're going to play it here, Chin?
Yeah.
47 million views.
It's probably more now. I got to refresh it.
So before you go to this, so this is Will walking up and slapping Chris Rock, right?
Yep.
So before you play it, previous to this, there's a lot to go into here. So before this, Chris Rock, who's one of the greatest comedians ever do it, he made a reference about Jada Pinkett Smith that he can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2 because she has a bald head, right? So G.I. Jane shaves her head. Jada Pinkett Smith has a condition on her scalp. This condition, I forget what it's called, alopecia, where it like grows in patches and it's not good. So he makes a joke about that, and Will, when you watch it on the replay, is laughing. Mm-hmm. He laughs at the joke, but Jada Pinkett Smith is not laughing. So I think that's where Will's like, "Oh, I better do something, or otherwise she's going to hook up with Lil Wayne or some shit." So he goes up there. We'll get to that. There's a reason why he did this. So he walks up there live during the Oscars and slaps the shit out of Chris Rock. Good technique too. Left hand is high for the counter. Slap. I think his training from Ali paid off a little bit there. But you see this. Play it, Chin. Mm-hmm. I hope we can play this in the actual video. Because Twitter.
Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Will Smith にやられました。
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's
G.I. Jane のジョークだったんです。
I'm going to, okay?
Important.
Okay.
He's okay. And then he has to do the Oscars for the best documentary.
History of television.
Okay.
You can pause it there. He kind of stumbles through it.
He does, yeah.
Which rightfully so. Yeah, you can't either whatever your perspective is on this entire situation, you can't have people slapping other people on stage. You can't have comics getting assaulted on stage with no repercussions. When it comes to this, why? Because when I watch the joke, right, I'm like, a G.I. Jane joke, that's not bad. And then my friends were defending, go, "Well, no, she has a condition." I'm like, "Oh shit, what, she have cancer? What are we talking about?" Like, "No, she has alopecia." And you look at her like, "Okay, can't grow hair. It's not like she has freaking, AIDS or something, like some real condition or disease or cancer where it would trigger Will Smith." And then the more you look into it, you go back to 2016 when Chris Rock was the host of the Oscars. Jada Pinkett Smith boycotted the Oscars because there wasn't enough African-American representatives. I think there was none. It was like all white people. So she boycotted it. So Chris Rock's whole bit on it, which was hilarious. He goes, and Jada Pinkett Smith isn't here tonight. She's boycotting the Oscars for not enough black representation. And he goes, "But she's on a TV show." He said, "That'd be like me boycotting Rihanna's panties." He goes, you were never invited. Oh. So he made those jokes about her, which again, not too bad. Horror, I've definitely heard worse. But I think this is an accumulation of, since Jada Pinkett Smith started the Red Table Talk, the personal stories that she shares about Will and her's relationship and this open relationship, and she's had, she had that side piece, Augustus, whatever his name was, and he's going on family trips, stuff like that. I think if you're going to be in an open relationship, all good, but especially Will Smith, who is so beloved. People love Will Smith. We don't need to hear all that shit. So by her starting, and I'm glad she has her own thing, that's great, and it's a big show, and I think they're exclusively on Facebook. But it's a big show, and they have big stars on there. But by her being so open and honest, like some stuff we don't need, some shit is private, man. But it's completely changed our perspective on Will Smith, and he's crying on there all the time, and you just see a different side of Will Smith that we don't need to see, man. So it's kind of put a black eye, no pun intended, but it's put a black eye in Will Smith's kind of perception when it comes to, the public. Because it's just crazy shit, man. It's like, dude, stand up for yourself. So I think he's become this butt of the joke, and he's just taken all this abuse. And Chris Rock in 2016 made those jokes about his wife, and there's all this abuse. I'm looking for the way. It's like he embodied the Venus and Serena Williams father's fucking persona there, because he's a tough dude and he defends his family at all costs. The guy has his faults, that's for sure. That the movie definitely leaves some stuff out. So I think, maybe got too into character and started to defend his family. But I think this goes back even way before this. And I think Chris Rock was just kind of the scapegoat from all the years and all the bullshit and all the making fun of Will and the memes and her coming out being open relationship and all this stuff and the kids. And I think it was just an accumulation of all that stuff led to this, because it's not in Will's character. A part of me goes, and I truly believe this, like we're in a day and age now where the internet and, people remain unanimous and talk all this shit and all that stuff, and there's no repercussions. So part of me goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, like I always say. And Chris Rock played a stupid game, talked shit about Will Smith's family, and won a stupid prize and got slapped. And it's the narrative now of the Oscars. But as a comic, like you can't have that. We can't have people, no matter if you're Will Smith, one of the most famous movie stars in the world, or some random Joe Schmo at an improv, walking up on stage assaulting the comics. We just can't have that in any facet. Also, I'd be curious, a part of me feels like obviously Will's bigger than Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock is like 5'7", 170 pounds, 5'8", 5'9", 170 pounds. Will Smith is maybe 6'2", 190, 200 pounds. So he's bigger, not like, way bigger, but he's definitely a bigger man. And Chris Rock is obviously an artist and talented comic and smaller guy. He's fragile. So there's a little bit of bullying going on here, because if Jason Momoa did the same thing, would you have that same energy? If Jason Momoa came out there and tore into Jada Pinkett Smith, you going to walk up there and hit Jason Momoa? I don't think so, my man. I bet you wouldn't have that same energy. So to me, it's like, a kid in elementary school who's getting bullied by the bigger kid all the time, bullied all the time. He's just taking it. Months go by, he's take it. And then the skinny little twerp goes, this kid takes all this. I'm going to jump in here. And he goes, yeah, man, you look like crap. And then finally that kid's getting bullied on, goes, oh, fuck this dude, and takes that on him when he's been getting months and months of abuse. To me, this is Will Smith taking months and months of abuse and finally sticking up for himself. It's just not the right way to go about it. I think, Hollywood is filled with pussies, filled with them, man. None of these guys are tough. They're just not. None of them are. Anybody you see on a movie, they're not a tough guy. They're just not. They play tough guys. We think they're tough guys. But there's also a reason why we don't know shit about them. There's a reason for that, because they got to sell tickets. They're not podcasters or stand-up comics where I'll draw a line in the sand. I don't give a shit if you don't like it. A lot of people will fuck with it. A lot of people won't. That's the world I live in. I love that world. I have a lot of haters. I have more people that love me. That's the way this works. I'm going to take a hard stance, but you're going to know exactly where I stand. Will Smith can't. John Cena can't. The Rock can't. These guys in Hollywood, they can't do that because they have to appeal to the masses. You have no clue about their political beliefs. You have no clue about their personal lives. Like I saw years ago, if you remember when they're like, Tom Hanks could win the president of the White House right now. He could be president of America. So many people think he's trustworthy. Why? Because he's Forrest Gump? Are you out of your fucking mind? We don't know that, dude. He's not getting on podcasts ripping off, ideas or opinions. He can't. He has to sell tickets. He has to sell fucking Save It Private Ryan or some shit. If he gives you a hard stance and doubles down on, funding the police or whatever it is, or Trump or Biden or Kamala Harris, he loses half his fan base. That's why a lot of comics don't get political, because you separate the room right off the bat in half. No matter what the joke is, there's some guys who can do it very well, and they do that. But then some political comics like Bill Maher or something like that, they take a hard stance, and that's their crowd, man. And they have a huge fan base, but that's it, man. They're going to ride with their home team. Actors can't do that, man. They're not, to me, I mean, obviously they inspire based off the movies and the roles that they play and the discipline it takes to act like that. And I have all the respect in the world for it. They're super talented, and that's great. But as far as like real inspirational, motivational shit, if you're looking towards an actor to motivate you, dude, you're barking up the wrong tree. We don't know these people. You can't. You just can't. And that's part of the reason, I think, a lot of these actors don't come out, and we have no idea about what they personally believe in because they don't want to cut their ticket sales in half, whether it's in China, like John Cena. Remember when he messed up and started speaking Mandarin and shit? Or The Rock with Rogan. Remember how fast he backtracked and was like, no, shit. He has tickets to sell, dude. That's the name of their game. We have no idea. They're the softest people in the world, man. Shit hits the fan. They will do whatever it takes to make sure that their credibility and their likeness stays in good standing, no matter what it is. They always walk the middle. There's never a real opinion out of them. They're the fakest people in the world. We have no idea about them. So for Will Smith, back to Will Smith, I think, Jada Pinkett Smith doing this Red Table Talk, they give you a look inside Will Smith's world, which is kind of weird, to be honest. I don't want to know Will Smith is a cuck. I don't want to know that stuff. I don't need that. That's Mike Lowry or whatever. I don't need that in my life. I don't need to know. I don't want to see him crying because the girl was flying a dude out on their family vacation, getting dick on the side while the kids were at the pool. What? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's all good, baby. Get jiggy with it. I don't need to know all this stuff. But he became the butt of the joke. Took it for years. Then finally, the smaller guy, the innocent comic, not even a good joke. I mean, it was whatever joke. It's not like he roasted the shit out of her. Tell you what, Chris Rock has a chin, though. Chris Rock has a chin on him. I can't imagine being slapped like that. And poor Chris Rock. I mean, this can be talked about for how long? I was texting the group about it. I said, knowing Hollywood, and I've been my fair share of Hollywood parties, man. Knowing Hollywood, I will guarantee you at an after party, those two get together and they're friends now. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a picture of them together, Will apologizing or something like that. And sure enough, P. Diddy said that. P. Diddy Combs or whatever was like, yo, they're all good. They're at the after party together. They're all good. Okay. I just think this was just the final straw on the camel's back that broke Will Smith because he's been getting so much shit, being a cuck and doing all this stuff and letting his girl get all wild. And was like, God damn, Will, So I think finally stood up for himself against the smaller guy. My question is, would you have kept the same energy with Jason Momoa or The Rock? I bet you wouldn't do shit if it was one of them, So we're talking about it. So most of the Oscars have been talked about. And people are like, this takes away from all the hard work of the workers and shit. Hey, hate to tell you, I watched the Oscars. It was awful. If this didn't happen, we're not talking about it at all. This is the best thing that happened to the Oscars in I don't know how long, dude. I don't know how long. In a long-ass time. Because we're all talking about it. And I also think just from comic to comic, I think too, Amy Schumer knows Chris Rock really well. Really, really well. He's a mentor of hers. If, let's say, Theo Von was hosting the Oscars, could happen. Theo's blowing up, dude. Let's say Theo's hosting the Oscars or any award show. It doesn't have to be the Oscars. And some dude slapped Theo. And I was hosting it, you know what I'm saying? Like I was one of the correspondents. I'm not just going to be like, oh man, like she came out, I was like, man, I heard something happen. What happened? Everyone's laughing. What? Your boy just got slapped, dude. Defend him. Then you use your skill set that you've developed over the years, and she used to be an amazing roaster. Tear into him, man. Defend your friend. That's Hollywood in a nutshell, people. It's like you turn a light on cockroaches, they fucking sprint all the ways. There's no, they don't have each other's back because they can't. They have PR people in there going, be careful of this Will stuff, man. You say the wrong thing, your movie comes out next summer. It could be a bad look, They can't stick up for each other. End of the day, bunch of bitches. Yet we all look up to them like they're heroes. They're not heroes, man. They're fake people. That's why that happened. It was just years and years of abuse and Will being the brunt of jokes left and right. And finally he's had enough and it was a smaller guy and he could take advantage of it. We're talking about it. It was so awkward.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. My favorite is the woman who's from Black Panther sitting behind Will Smith. She's just like this the whole time. Just like, what in the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's all like, again, it's just such a petty thing to do. Again, part of me is like, oh, you stuck up for your family. Good for you, man. There's way better ways to stick it. The other thing is like, you didn't have to embarrass him and do it on national TV. You could have went in the back, and had an altercation, talked to him man to man. That'd been cool. There's different ways to handle it. But just as a comic myself, we can't have people going on stage assaulting comics over jokes. We can't have it, man. Yeah. And I'm glad Chris Rock isn't pressing charges. I wouldn't either. I'd just be like, what are you doing, dude? It's tough for Chris, right? For Chris Rock, you're in a weird position. I really, really wish he went back to his old New York, coming up at the stand and all that, old chops, and really leaned into it, lit him up. He would have said it. I mean, not that he needs any more help with his career, but if he would have tore into him, used that as material, and really tore into the Smith family, and there's so much content there, that'd been the move. That would have went so viral for Chris Rock. We wouldn't be talking about the slap. We were talking about him lighting Will Smith up. That'd been the move. Or Amy Schumer could have done that. That's not Hollywood, man. She's Hollywood now, So there you go. What else you got, Jen?
I have a feeling he's gonna do something.
Chris?
Yeah, like something.
I don't think so.
Really?
It's not in their nature. It's not Hollywood. I don't think he's doing anything. I bet you they come out together and make a joke out of it. I bet you we get a video in the next month. Guarantee it.
All right. Well,
and something was going on because even before the award show, Will Smith took a picture with Jada Pinkett Smith and was like, we got all dressed up for chaos tonight. Like he knew something was going down, Like he knew Chris, maybe from 2016 comments, like he had that, weird energy about him. And then he won an Oscar and all of Hollywood's clapping for him for 5 minutes, letting him talk. It's like he just assaulted a guy on stage. Weird. That's Hollywood in a nutshell, man.
Yeah.